3 weeks ago, everybody was saying that coronavirus would kill 3% of those infected. Last week, that figure was down to 1%. Now that's been cut in half. Here's Dr. Nicholas Christakis of Yale appearing on Dave Rubin's show a couple of days ago. He's giving the worst and best case scenarios as he sees them.
At best, 35,000 Americans are going to die, in my view, at best. And it's quite possible that 20% of Americans will get infected. That's 60 million Americans in the next year. And our best estimate is that 0.5% of those people might die. That's 300,000 Americans dying in the next year of this condition.
Best case is 35,000 Americans dead. Wuhan hasn't had a new case in 5 days, and according to all the statistics sites, China has lost fewer than 3,500. Those numbers might be fudged, but I don't see us losing 10 times that many. We are not China, and we're not Italy. I think we are positioned a lot better than either, and I'll tell you why. Every culture has its rules and customs. Do you know anybody who stands just a little too close when they talk to you? Seinfeld had an episode about the close talker. In the U.S., unless we are intimate with somebody, we like about a 3-foot cushion between us and a person we're talking to. Right about there. But not in China. The Chinese don't have the same need for personal space as we have. Compared to them, we have always practiced social distancing. My friend Autumn sent me this picture of her 12-year-old on mass transit in China last year. Does he look happy? Look at these pics of people on trains. How about this shot of people lining up to go home for Chinese New Year, not really observing American personal space standards? China is also the world's #1 consumer of cigarettes. In the U.S., about 15% of the population smokes. By contrast, 60% of Chinese medical doctors smoke. And did you know that of the cities with the worst air pollution, 55 of the top 100 are in China? Do you know how many of the top 100 are in the U.S.? None, not one. In fact, there is not a single U.S. city in the top 500. It's safe to say that we have lower levels of compromised lungs, a key mortality factor. I'm not going to go into this, but it's also true that in China, people spit a lot. For years, they've been trying to get people to stop doing that. I'll just let this PSA from China do the talking. This whole city-closing, business-killing, jobs-losing, economy-crashing panic we've been living through was based on China's 4% death rate. I think it's fair to say that when a brand-new virus spread by personal contact shows up in one of the world's most crowded cities, you're going to see high mortality rates. Before they can treat it, health officials first have to figure out what they're looking at. That gives the virus a head start. And when you add in the factors of crowding and particulate-filled lungs, isn't it reasonable to assume that they will have a higher percentage of deaths than we will? So what about Italy? Well, to start with, Italy has the second oldest population of all the countries on Earth. This is another list that the U.S. did not place high on. The median age in Italy is 47.3 years. In the U.S., the median age is 38.3. The Italians are, on average, 9 years older than we are. The average age of Italians who have died of coronavirus is 79.5 years old. That's pretty old. That's Nancy Pelosi old, at least until Thursday when she turns 80. As of a few days ago, less than 20 people under 50 had died of the virus in Italy. And of the few under 40 who have died, all of them have been males with serious existing medical problems. See this graph? See that tiny orange wedge? That's the number of people who died of COVID-19 in Italy who didn't already have another illness. Half of them had 3 or more illnesses. So how are so many old and infirm Italians catching the disease? I think the answer to that is how they live. Fully 2/3 of Italian males between 18 and 34 live with their parents. And guess who else is living there? Grandma and grandpa. Italians are known for not shipping their elders out to retirement homes. They keep the old folks with them. We don't do that as much here. My mom's in a care home, and now I'm not even allowed to visit her. Think how many asymptomatic Italian millennials have kissed grandmama and grandpapa right on the lips and given them the virus. This is a Reddit thread where somebody asked if it was offensive for adult children to mouth kiss their parents. Pianmeister says he's Italian and that people get offended if you don't. Darth Nicholas takes it a step further, quote, "Italian here, and yup, we get offended if we don't get a kiss on the lips. I think that's what's wrong with American rape culture. Everything is considered sexual. There was a study done years ago, and Americans are the least physical in touch, hugs, and kisses than any other culture in the world. Maybe that's why the U.S. has so many issues, not loved enough." You could be right, Darth Nicholas, but I'll bet we do better with the coronavirus than you do. There is another factor that nobody else is talking about: cold and flu season. This virus, like most flu-like pathogens, likes the cool weather. China got hit at the height of the flu season, and Italy not much later. But because of Donald Trump's bold move to cancel travel from China and then from infected Europe, we didn't get COVID until very late in the season. This is a chart from the CDC. We entirely missed the big flu month, February, and we're almost through with March, typically the last month of the season. In a week or two, viruses will all be leaving for summer vacation. I mean, come on, if we had kept the businesses open and just taken Anthony Fauci's precautions, we still would have missed the worst of the coronavirus. This is my fourth video about this crisis. As I said in the other three, I am following the instructions of Dr. Fauci to the letter. I hope that you all are doing the same thing. I agree with the president. We will nip this virus in the bud, and when all is said and done, I think we will also beat Nick Christakis' supposed best-case scenario by miles. When we do, our economy will come roaring back like a runaway train. Please share this video with everybody you know who's stressing out in isolation. We can all stand a little good news. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.